Last time on Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver, we battled Jasmine, conquered the Safari Zone, and made our way to the Lake of Rage. But today, we're going to be fighting something as rage-filled as the Lake of Rage itself, a red Gyarados. Most of you are probably wondering why this Gyarados is red, and we'll be getting to that shortly. We also heard about, in the last episode, we heard about a mysterious caped individual. Haven't come across anyone like that yet, so who knows, might be important. I heard this lake was made by a rampaging Gyarados. I wonder if there's any connection to their mass outbreak now. This lake kind of bugs me for a couple of reasons, mostly because I am a geology person. Did my eyes deceive me? I saw a red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. I thought Gyarados were usually blue. The Gyarados are angry. It's a bad omen. As a geology person, this lake bugs me. I'm probably gonna see if I can get an image of the full lake, post on screen somewhere. This is essentially just a giant bowl. There's no incoming or outgoing stream. And this is apparently a lake full of Magikarp and presumably Gyarados, as we have heard. And this rain is how the lake gets filled up. With no incoming or outgoing stream, that means when it stops raining, the lake drains and dries up, at least partially. That means all the Magikarp Gyarados have to go into a much smaller area because after this point, the Lake of Rage does change. If the Lake of Rage dried up because there say wasn't rain for a while, all the Magikarp and Gyarados would die. It's kind of a bizarre consequence of me knowing a bit about geology and how things work, that because there's no incoming or outgoing stream, and the water draining away, the Pokemon would just basically just die if they stayed in here, because there wouldn't be enough water to support, because there's no water coming in. And because the water level drops down, the natural water table isn't enough to keep the lake full in the absence of rain. It's kind of a bit of a dark thing to actually think about, that when it stops raining, Pokemon just straight up die. Because again, there's not enough room. Now, they don't ever say, oh, the Gyarados and Magikarp die because the water drains away, but it's a bit of a consequence of how water actually works in lakes. A little bit of a weird history, a little bit of weird geology lesson about like water tables and everything, and not even really a lesson to begin with, but, well, we have reached the red Gyarados. I don't want to lead off with Megalon, because of Gyarados' ability to intimidate. I also recommend you save before fighting this Gyarados. There are two ways this battle can go. One, in my opinion, is, well, both of them are very useful, though one is my preferred way. We'll get into that after. I love the little verbalized attacks they give Gyarados. Well, in all Pokemon in general. Those sparkles indeed mean we are dealing with a shiny Pokemon. This is the first time a shiny Pokemon was a major component of a game. The second one was actually in Pokemon Time and Darkness, Explorers of Time and Darkness and Sky, where there was the shiny Celebi. If you want to catch this Gyarados, because again, this is a Gyarados, I recommend you lead off with a Pokemon that can status it. That's why having Lanayru use Thunder Wave on it. Gyarados is, as I went over before, very powerful. It also doesn't help that we are in the rain. Gyarados, if it has any water moves, will be powered up, and I am pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure it has Aqua Tail, and I don't like where this is going. I do not want to use Discharge or even Thunder Shock on it, because Gyarados does have a good bit of special defense, mostly the byproduct of how Gen 1 stats worked, but I do not have confidence that it will survive. Alright, Callion, you're up. Okay, Gyarados paralyzed. I'm pretty sure that it knows Aqua Tail. I know it knows Dragon Rage, I'm pretty sure it knows Ice Fang. Extra sensory. And this Gyarados is... I like this fight just because... Yeah, okay, bite, alright? Bite, alright. Not a terrible move, honestly, bite. This is a Pokemon that is immediately useful if you catch it. If you are short on party members, or you just don't know what a good party member would be and you didn't pick Totodile, I would recommend adding this Gyarados to your team. It's level 30, so it's really high leveled. As you're seeing, it's higher leveled than half of my team. Actually, well, technically higher leveled than 3/5 of my team, so 60%. Do not crit. Like, do you want to catch this? I mean, I don't want to catch it for a member of my team, but I just want to catch it because, well... Oh, it survived. Okay. I mean, I just want to catch it because I have a history of shiny snake-like Pokemon getting knocked out or knocking me out. There's a story I actually was waiting for a while to bring up. When I was playing Platinum a while back, this was many, many years ago, I found an Onix. Shiny. I was going up against it with my Chimchar in Platinum. It was, I don't know, maybe 10, 8 levels higher than me. Knocked out my whole team. I didn't catch the shiny Onix. A little mad about that. Well, we caught the shiny Gyarados, and we obtained the red scale. We placed that in the key items pocket, and you might be wondering, what exactly is it used for? Well, perhaps it's item in. No, it actually doesn't tell you what it's good for. Scale from a red Gyarados. It glows red like flame. Well, this scale does have a purpose. And we're going to be going over that purpose in this episode after we land here. And hey, there's a guy with a cape. And a Dragonite. So talk to him. That red Gyarados wasn't acting right. As I feared, somebody must have forced it. Must have forced it to evolve. Did you come here because of all the wild tales? You're Maxis. I'm Lance, a trainer like you. I heard some rumblings, so I came to investigate. I saw you battled earlier. I saw the way you battled earlier, Maxis. I can tell you're a trainer with considerable skill. I mean, you're a considerable skill too, considering you have a Dragonite. If you wouldn't mind, could you help me investigate? Excellent. It seems that the Lake of Rage and Magikarp are being forced to evolve. A mysterious radio broadcast coming from the Mahogany. Oh, coming from Mahogany. Okay, I don't know why I thought it said the Mahogany. I like the name of the specific tree. Okay, coming from Mahogany is probably the cause. And that's a suspicious souvenir shop. Suspicious souvenir shop. Not like there's anything off-putting about those people. I'll be waiting for you in Mahogany, Maxis. Lance is... I like him. I don't know how many of you guys remember the Johto anime, because the Johto anime is like 90% filler, and when I say filler, I mean stupid filler. Lance was a bit of a highlight. I like to joke a lot of the time that he sounds like a like third grade or something like that, because he has kind of a bit of a high-pitched voice with a cold. That's what he sounds like. And then again, that's also what Ash sounds like. And he's not, this, awesome, deep-voiced, cape-wearing, awesome person that we kind of like to think he is nowadays. He's a bit of a different portrayal of him, and I always enjoyed it. I also love how you'd probably think, oh, does Ash catch the red Gyarados? No, Lance does, right in front of him, when Ash actually didn't want to catch the red Gyarados. If you don't like the Johto anime, I don't blame you at all. It is a horrible slog, a lot like this game itself without the Pokewalker, but I would recommend looking up the Lake of Rage episodes. They are hilarious. I mean, well, they're hilarious in the kind of way of just Lance is kind of funny. Dragonite Hyper Beam. Yes, Lance did just use Hyper Beam. Lance did just have his Dragonite use Hyper Beam on that guy. Love it. What took you so long, Maxis? I mean, I kind of had to heal my Pokemon up after fighting that red Gyarados. And I also flew here. Just as I thought, the strange radio signal coming from here. I love how he just shoots out of the way. He doesn't just go step aside, he goes a full space away. The stairs are right here. Maxis, we should split up and check the place. I'll go first. I mean, again, you have a Dragonite. You don't need me. That guy's Dragonite Pokemon are tough. That's kind of the whole point of Dragon Pokemon. That's why Fairy should not have existed. You found the secret stairway. How did you do that? Thought it was well camouflaged. Maybe it was you standing right next to it, you idiot. Team Rocket HQ. Yep. If the Team Rocket goons in that toll booth weren't to tip off, we have found their main base of operations in Johto. They were the ones forcing the Magikarp to evolve, and they are responsible for the Red Gyarados. I'm honestly going to be fast-forwarding through a lot of these fights just because, well, you'll see in about 2 steps. Hey, intruder alert! Yes. Each of these Persian statues will trigger a Team Rocket Grunt battle. Actually, I should probably mention something before we continue on. And these Team Rocket Grunt fights, they are hilariously underleveled. I mean, level 17. Level 17 Drowsy. So, if you have a Pokemon that's a bit underleveled and you kind of want to be leveling them up, say you did just catch a... I mean, I suppose why they have to do this is you could have done this straight after battling Morty, but you had to fight a level 30 Gyarados. That's not easy. Why are you giving us these weak little level 17s to fight? I suppose it is good if you did just do the... I mean, again, you can do this before you go fight Chuck. That's how early you can do this. I suppose if you did do the battle against Chuck and did do the Johto Safari Zone, and you have a Safari Zone caught Pokemon you do want to be leveling up, this is a good place for that, and I kind of didn't remember they were this weak in this Rocket HQ, so it probably would have been a good idea to have Godzilla battling in here, but these levels are just laughably low. And yes, you fight 2 Rocket Grunts per Persian statue. This is again a bit of a slog and a bit of a tedium fight. And they are all the same thing of just weak Zubat, Ekans, Drowsy, and stuff like that. Not exactly a well-designed area for battles because again, they're weak, and I mean, it would work a lot better if it was just a gauntlet where you can't leave and you're just going up against weak opponents and you're kind of PowerPoint starved for most of the fights later on, but you can just go, leave, heal up, and come back without consequence. If they boost it, again, all they really need to do was maybe make it a 2 Pokemon fight against 1 Rocket Grunt, but they're say using level 30s. That would be legitimately a good challenge. Not to, again, I don't want to go like I'm hating on this game. I love this game, I think it's fantastic. But this is one part that is always a bit of an annoyance. I only wanted to commentary over this fight in particular because of just how egregious I think this problem is. And thankfully, it wasn't until a certain generation we had another team that was annoying and a bit of a slog to battle against. But at least that generation made it so that the story just got itself over with, which, don't exactly know if that was a benefit. It is a bit of a good way of making money, and you will notice that the Persian statue's eyes go away. They're no longer glowing. Actually, wait. That's a nice detail, the whole metal, the footsteps. I like that little touch. There are some items that you can get before here that I say would be kind of helpful. If possible, the amulet coin is something I would recommend getting because you are going to be doing a lot of fights that are required, and it's a great way of making money. Though, money isn't a big problem in this game just because, unless you are catching every single Pokemon, which even then, not exactly the biggest problem. I mean, I suppose if you're doing the lottery, you will want to be getting a lot of money for just spinning the lottery over and over and over again to try and get those TMs, because those TMs are really, really good. I might actually go do that. Though, I'll do that off screen, probably, and just point you guys in the direction of how to get the amulet coin. Well, enough babbling. Time to just speed up. Actually, I think I might go and get the amulet coin right now, just because the number of fights I am remembering, there is not just a lot of them, but an inordinately large number of them. And I do say money isn't the most important thing in this game, but there are some things I probably will be wanting it for in the future. So I am actually going to go grab the amulet coin and meet you guys back here. Well, actually meet you guys where the amulet coin is. Assuming we can get it at least. Because knowing my luck, we aren't able to get it right now. Actually, I was right, you can't get the amulet coin just yet, so yay. Let's continue on to the Rocket HQ. I know there's a Persian statue that turns off all the other ones. I might actually not go for that one just because I kind of do want to get all the experience, because again, experience is tight in this game. So I'll meet up with you guys after I fight all these Persian statues. Well, we didn't beat the Master Switch yet, and I actually do want to go... Seeing how low level these Rocket Grunts are, I actually do want to go grab Godzilla for this place, because I feel it'd be her time to have a little time in the sun. So, this place, you might be noticing it has a little bit of a different floor layout. Stepping on here are landmines, rather, Pokemon that know self-destruct. There are 3 types of Pokemon: Poison, Rock, and Ground. Poison, Rock, and Electric. Well, Rock, Ground. Joking aside, there are 3 Pokemon species here: Voltorb, Coughing, and Geodude, all of which know self-destruct, and all of which will not hesitate to use it. Can be good for experience fodder, though do take a while. You can cross this without triggering any of them, which is one of the reasons I like this layout. You can go through here and have kind of an annoying time fighting all the Rocket Grunts, or just fight the one Rocket Grunt Persian thing over there, and try and get across here without encountering too many of the exploding nightmares. I like that little idea. Wish it could have been implemented a little bit better, and if you step on that little yellow thing, it's a teleporter path that brings you back to the start. I wanted to use that to go grab Godzilla. So I will meet you guys back when we have Godzilla, and it's time to let the little girl have her fun. You might be noticing we're on the title screen. That's because I want to show something interesting. Today we're going to go connect a Pokewalker. I have been using the Pokewalker for a little bit off-screen, and the intervening time I've actually had a bit of a sore throat, and thankfully it's given me some time to use the Pokewalker a bit, as you can see. Walking around is actually pretty good. So, I decided that now would be a perfect time to show it off, because we have Larvitar now, or rather, I should call her by her name, Godzilla. Larvitar is part of the slow experience group. This means it levels up the slowest of all Pokemon naturally. In the main games, when training up a pseudo-legendary, it slows the game to a crawl. In Johto in particular, it makes this crawl agonizing because of how low experience yields are from opponents. Leveling up slowly naturally on top of just low experience yield that could be going to your other team members who level up much faster is not as useful. I have played through Johto with a pseudo-legendary before. I've played through it with the Dratini. It's why I haven't recommended Dratini, because it slows the game down to an agonizing crawl. That and the other little special thing about Dratini that we're going to go over later. It slows the game down to an agonizing crawl to the point of being unfun. So I decided, for the time being, Godzilla, will be spending most of her time inside of the Pokewalker. This is honestly the best way, in my opinion, to handle training the slowest leveling up member of your team. Or really just a member of your team who isn't going to be too useful for a long time, because they're going to be leveling up from the Pokewalker. Much like the daycare, 1 step translates to 1 experience point, with, unlike the daycare, this does not roll over. When you reach the experience cap, you just stop gaining experience. So say it takes 1,500 experience points to level up, you go to 2,000 steps. The extra 500 steps, extra 500 experience, does not count for anything. Oh wow, how did I get 10? I did not even intend that. The experience stops. It's like using a rare candy. You do not gain anything beyond that. So, I recommend if you're going to be walking a Pokemon in the Pokewalker, you make some note of how much experience it takes to level up, and as soon as you can, after hitting that cap, transfer the Pokemon back into your main game, get the experience totaled up, then send it back into the Pokewalker and keep going. You can do this multiple times a day. I have actually gained 3 level ups on Godzilla in 1 day, just doing that yesterday. That was a bit of a rambling on, and little mechanics of the Pokewalker. Every 20 steps you gain a watt. 1 watt doesn't do anything. You get 3 watts, you can spend it on trying to find an item. 10 watts you can spend on catching a Pokemon. There are a number of Pokemon you can get on the Pokewalker, and a few actually are exclusive for a good while. I'm not going to be going over most of those.